Hey everyone, welcome to MAT120 or 121 Intermediate Algebra. My name is Kelly Devaney. I'll be your instructor for the class. Most of my students just call me Dev or Mrs. Devaney. I know this isn't the traditional class that most of us are used to, but I have tried my best to try to make it as close to possible as a class that we would see each other typically, where I videotaped all of the lessons that we'll be learning, just like if you were in class. And I know that you won't be able to see me necessarily, but just because you can't see me doesn't mean that I'm not here. So please know that I am here for you if you need anything. The easiest way to get a hold of me is probably through email. You can email me any questions, concerns, anything you need to tell me. Email is probably the easiest way to do that. I do have office hours. We can always meet if you need something specific. If you have a question that I can't answer through email, I'd be happy to meet with you. I've done that in the past through Zoom. You've probably heard of it by now, but we can meet up virtually if you'd like to go over anything. Just let me know and I can send you a code and we can meet virtually for office hours. Now we are going to be doing lots of different algebra stuff in here, probably some stuff you've seen before, maybe some new stuff. You can kind of read through some of those course competencies to see what we're kind of going to be learning for this semester. Like to do a couple different things, talk about a couple different things in the syllabus here. One of the first and most important things is some of the materials that you're going to need for the class. The first thing that you're going to need is the required software that we're going to be using to do all of our homework, complete the chapter exams, review, even do the midterm and final exam. We're going to be using MyMathLab. Maybe some of you have used it in the past, but this is the software program that we're going to be using pretty much all of our course content in. Now, you do not need to purchase the hard copy of the textbook. Since MyMathLab includes an electronic version of the text, there's no need for you to buy the hard copy, but you do need to purchase the MyMathLab code. So access for MyMathLab will be purchased directly online through the link that I've posted in Canvas. It'll cost you about $100. You have to make sure that you go through the link in Canvas in order to be able to access MyMathLab, at least for the first time. I've linked them specifically, so if you go to mymathlab.com without going through Canvas, you will not be able to get to our course. We do not have a course ID. You have to go through Canvas the first time. So there's more information in the Start Here or Week 1 module. It'll walk you through exactly how to sign up for MyMathLab, how to purchase the code for MyMathLab. If you want to do it directly through Pearson, you can do it all right there. Okay? Now, access to MyMathLab and completion of assignments and tests in MyMathLab is mandatory, so you have to make sure that you purchase the code. Any student without access by the first Friday of class will be withdrawn from the course. It's really important that you get access to MyMathLab because we have homework right away. Okay? Now, there is a 14-day free trial if you cannot afford a book right away, but you will need to purchase a permanent code within those 14 days. So please make sure that you make arrangements for that. But if you need to sign up at first just temporarily using that 14-day access code, you can do that. And then in the meantime, just make sure that you purchase the permanent code so you can continue doing all of your work. Now again, MyMathLab must be accessed through the My Lab and Mastering link in Canvas. There is no course ID. So if you email me and ask me what the course ID is, I know you didn't follow directions. You have to make sure that you go through Canvas and you click the link My Lab and Mastering. It'll walk you through how to either purchase the code or get that 14-day code temporarily. Or if you've purchased the code at the bookstore and you need to enter the code in there, you're still going to go through that link. Okay? So please make sure that you follow the rules and the directions in that Start Here Week 1 module. Now, besides MyMathLab, because this is an online class, obviously you need to make sure that you have the required technology and reliable internet access. Each student will need access to a reliable computer and reliable internet throughout the course to access Canvas and MyMathLab. You also may need access to a printer because you are required to print the notes packet that I've provided in Canvas. Now you might be able to go to Staples or Office Max or something like that to get it printed if you don't have an actual printer, but you are required to print out the notes. You cannot take notes on a separate sheet of paper. Or some of you might have a tablet, an iPad, something like that, that you'd like to take notes on. You're perfectly able to upload those notes and notate those note packets on the tablet and submit them that way. So you either need to print out the notes or you need to use a tablet to take notes on the packet that way. You also need the technology in order to scan or take pictures of your completed notes or work. So whether that's a cell phone that you have a scanning app that you can use, or if you know how to take pictures and put them into one document, but you do need to make sure that you have some way of scanning or taking pictures of your completed work and being able to submit that into Canvas. Make sure that you're comfortable using internet, word processing tools, all of that good stuff. Okay? Now, internet outage and technology issues do not constitute a valid excuse for late assignments, quizzes, or tests. Please, please, please do not procrastinate. Do not email me at the last minute and tell me that your internet went out. You need to make sure that you plan and make sure that you have reliable internet and technology in order to be able to be successful in this class. Okay? Now in this class, we will also be using either a scientific calculator if you have one, or if you have one, a graphing calculator. I know scientific calculators are pretty cheap, I don't know, $8, $10, something like that. But if you want to, or if you already have one, you can do a graphing calculator. You will be able to use a calculator on all of the exams, so please make sure that you get a calculator as soon as possible so that you can start using it right away and be comfortable with using it. Now I don't have any extras that you can borrow. You can't share them in between you guys if you know each other. And you also aren't able to use a cell phone or a tablet during proctored exams. So please make sure that you actually have a calculator you can use for exam days. Okay? All right, big picture of this class. You are required to be self-directed and motivated. So each week you should be doing lots of different things in order to be successful in this class, just like if we were meeting in person. If this were an in-person class, I would typically see you 4 or 5 times a week for an hour each time. I would lecture and give you notes for that hour, and then I would send you home with some sort of an assignment that would probably take you at least an hour. So you need to make sure that you set up a decent amount of time, now that we're doing this all at home, to do that same thing. You need to make sure that you do set up time a little bit every single day, or big chunks a couple days a week, but set up some time in your schedule now and stick to it. Make time for this class because it is going to take a lot of time in order to be successful. Okay? Each week in Canvas and MyMathLab, you're expected to watch the video lessons that I've recorded for you. Now, as you're watching these videos, remember you must be taking notes on the blank note packet that I provided in Canvas. So you're filling out the blanks, you're doing the examples with me. As you're watching the videos, you should be taking notes just like if you were in class. Okay? Now, you may need to pause the video or replay the video in order to practice and understand the concepts. There's even times within the video I'll say, hey guys, why don't you pause, try this problem, and then come back and see if we have the same answers. Because I really, really, really want you to practice doing this on your own. I know it's a lot different when I'm guiding you and kind of doing it for you, but the only way that you're really going to understand is when you do it by yourself. So please take advantage of those videos by pausing, replaying, going back and rewatching. I know sometimes I start to talk a little bit fast, so you might need to pause and replay. That is one nice thing about these online classes and these videos, is that you can kind of go at your own pace. So take advantage of that. Now, at the end of the chapter, you are required to submit a picture of your completed notes. So please make sure that you're taking good, clear, complete notes so you can get credit for all of that. All right. Then we have pretests. I'm using the first attempt as your chapter test as a pretest to assess what you already know so you can focus on the concepts you need to master. So what that means, questions and learning objectives that you answer correctly are taken off of your homework. So the better you do on your pretest, the less homework you have to do. So you could go through and watch all the videos, take all the notes, and take the pretest and ace it and not have to do anything for the rest of that week. Okay? So the better you do on your pretest, the less homework you have to do. Now, unfortunately, if you score poorly on your pretest, that means the more homework you have to do in order to be able to meet that threshold of understanding. Okay? Now, the chapter pretest is due by Monday, at midnight each week, or you'll receive a 0 for your pretest score. So whatever work you have to do before your pretest, it needs to be done before Monday at midnight. I need you to take that pretest by Monday at midnight and see what you get. If you do not take it by Monday at midnight, you get a 0 for your pretest score. There's no extensions, there's no late submissions. If you don't do it by Monday at midnight, it's a 0, which means you're starting fresh and you've got to do all the homework. Now, if you score below an 80% on the pretest, you must complete the homework for each section in the chapter with at least an 80% accuracy. Once you've done that, once you've completed your homework for each section with at least an 80%, then 2 more attempts at the test will become available to you. So you'll be able to retake the test 2 more times to try to improve your score after you've done the homework. Make sure that you practice by doing that homework in MyMathLab. It provides you with immediate feedback on the topics that we're covering to make sure that you're understanding. MyMathLab also provides lots of different resources underneath the question help option, where you have extra examples, you have similar problems. There's often sometimes a video in there to help you understand each question that we're doing, each topic. Once you are done doing the homework, like I said, you have a test retake option. As soon as you have completed your homework with at least an 80%, 2 more opportunities to take that test will become available to you, and the best score out of the 3 is the one that I record. Okay? So the chapter retakes then are due every week by Sunday. So again, you're going to make sure that you do the work before, all the work you need to do before taking the pretest. The pretest is due Monday at midnight. If you score less than an 80% on your pretest, you need to do the homework for each section in that chapter with at least an 80% before the 2 retakes are available, and those retakes are due by Sunday at midnight. Okay? Now, if you're having difficulty with the material, please ask as soon as you don't understand. We're in this together. Like I said, just because you can't see me doesn't mean that I'm not here to help. So if you need anything, please ask. Okay? So that's kind of a typical week of what you should be expecting from the class. All right, there are a couple of course requirements for the class. There are actually 4 that I need you to do this first week. I call them the week 1 required assignments. The first one is a syllabus quiz. Now that you've watched the syllabus video and you've read through the syllabus, I need you to take a quiz. It's in Canvas underneath that week 1 module. I need you to get 100% on this syllabus quiz. You have unlimited attempts at the quiz, and the information can be found in the syllabus. I need you to do it by Friday. So make sure that you read the syllabus, watch this video, and take the syllabus quiz with 100% by Friday. The second thing I need you to do is make sure that you register for MyMathLab. Remember, you can get on there with a temporary code for 14 days, but within that 14 days, you do need to purchase the permanent code, but follow the link in Canvas that takes you to MyMathLab so that you can register, play around with it, get comfortable with all your assignments are, because we have homework very soon. Make sure that you get into MyMathLab by Friday. Number 3, make sure that you sign up for remind messages. I don't know how often you guys check your student email or your Canvas, but I know you all have your cell phones next to you 24/7. And so what I like to use is the Remind messaging app that allows me to send you out quick announcements, reminders, maybe anything I forgot to say, maybe any sort of course changes, kind of quickly be able to just send you out important information. So I need you to make sure that you sign up for that Remind message system by Friday, so that way you don't miss any important announcements or reminders. Okay, the last one is really important. I struggled this summer with some students that could not submit documents correctly. And so your 4th required assignment for week 1 that has to be done by Friday is you must submit a multi-page document in one file. There's specific directions on what I want on each page under this assignment, but it needs to be a clear image. The pages need to be in order, they need to be facing vertically, and they need to all be in one document. I know it seems kind of silly, but I had students submitting 27 different files. They were out of order, they were upside down, they were unclear. It was a total pain. So the first thing I want to make sure that you know how to do is scan multiple pictures into one document and send it in order, facing the right direction, so that I can clearly see what you're doing. This assignment will ensure that you receive full credit when submitting your chapter notes and your work. Okay, so make sure you do those 4 assignments by Friday of week 1 so that you're not withdrawn from the course. All right, attendance. Because I can't see you each day, attendance in an online course is taken by monitoring your online progress. So every week, you should be making progress in the class by completing that chapter pretest, by completing the chapter homework, and completing the chapter test retakes, right? I should be able to see you making progress in MyMathLab each week on all of these different things. If I don't see progress, more than 1 week of inactivity in the class may result in you being withdrawn with the failing grade from the class. So please make sure that you continue to make progress each week on pretests and homework and retakes so I know that you're actively involved. Okay? Notes. You are required to print or download those blank notes that I provided in Canvas and take notes covering each section that we do in the course by watching those videos that I've made for you. Once you finish the chapter, you must submit a copy of your completed notes in Canvas. There is an assignment for each chapter where you'll submit your chapter notes there. Please make sure that you follow the requirements in Canvas for submitting those documents or you'll receive no credit for your notes. So please make sure that you follow the directions on that so you can get all the credit you deserve. Okay? The next thing we're going to do, like I said, is the chapter test. You must complete all chapter tests in the course in order to be eligible for a passing grade. Remember, the pretest is due by Monday at midnight each week, or you'll receive a 0 for your pretest score. There's no extensions, there's no late submissions on pretest. If you don't do it by Monday, it's a 0, and you have to start from ground zero. If you score below an 80% on your pretest, you must complete the homework for each section in that chapter with at least an 80% accuracy. Once you've done that homework, then 2 more attempts at the test will become available to you. Once you've mastered the content by doing the homework, remember the 2 tests will become available. I already said that. The best score out of the 3 tests is recorded, and the chapter retakes, remember, are due by Sunday at midnight each week. So please make sure that you have a schedule where you can do all of this before they're due. Now, there is a time limit that I've set up for each chapter test. You'll see that as you open the test and you start to work. That is there to make sure that you've done the work prior to opening the test so that you're prepared and you're ready. So please make sure that you're aware of those time limits, that you have everything set to go when you go to take the test. You must complete the test in the time limit that I've given you. Okay? Late penalties are on chapter retakes only. Remember, there are no extensions or late submissions on the pretest or the midterm and final exam. However, if for some reason you don't have a chance to do the retakes by Sunday, you will have 1 week to do it late. However, there is a 10% deduction on your final score. So for example, if Chapter 5 retake is due Sunday at midnight, but you don't submit them in time, you have until the following Sunday at midnight to complete it, but your final score will be reduced by 10%. So let's say you get a 95% on your retake, you really only get credit for 85%. Now, sometimes 85% is better than nothing, so take advantage of it if you need it, but please try to just get them done by their due date so you can get the best score possible. Okay, but if you don't have a chance to do the retakes, if you ran out of time, you had an emergency, you do have 1 more week to do it, but there is a 10% deduction. Okay, it is your responsibility to know all the different due dates for the proctor exams, the homework, and the chapter tests. Again, internet outage and computer issues do not constitute a valid excuse for any sort of late assignment, so please make sure that you have everything that you need to go and you're not waiting till the last minute. Besides chapter exams, you do have a midterm and a final exam. There will be a midterm that covers the first half of the class and a final exam that covers the second half of the class. The midterm and final exam are both in MyMathLab. However, they are going to be proctored exams, meaning somebody is going to watch you take these exams. We are in the process of trying to get ProctorU free of charge for all of our math students. And so as soon as I get more information on exactly how that's going to work, I will let you know. But just so you know, the midterm will be proctored and the final exam will be proctored somehow. That means you need to have the technology that's necessary to do these virtual proctoring exams. meaning that you need to have access to a video camera, a microphone, and any other technology that they need in order to be able to proctor you from home. They're going to send you some sort of a video link so that they can watch you through your webcam. They need to be able to see you clearly, see your area, watch you, and hear you. So please make sure that you have everything you need to be able to do those 2 proctored exams. Now, if a student cannot meet these requirements, they will receive a 0 for their midterm and or their final exam, which means you're not going to pass the class. So if you don't have the technology available to do these proctored exams, you need to sign up for a different class, okay? You must take the exam within the tested window and by its due date. And again, more information will be posted in Canvas as soon as I hear about that proctored assignment. You must complete the midterm and final exam by the due date of the exam. There are no late exams or extensions allowed for any reason, so please make sure that you follow along with those due dates. You will be able to use a calculator on each of these exams, but you will not be allowed to use any notes, a book, formula sheets, anything like that. You will have 2.5 hours to complete the exam, so please make sure that you have everything ready to go before you start so that you can use the full 2.5 hours, but you will not be given any more than 2.5 hours, so make sure that you're prepared. One way to prepare is by doing the practice exams in MyMathLab that I'm going to provide for you. I have posted practice exams in MyMathLab that are very similar to the actual exam. You can do these as many times as you want to. Chances are, if you do these, the better you score on the practice exams, the better you're going to score on the actual exam. So it's really important that you do these practice exams before taking your midterm and final, especially because your midterm and final are worth so much of your course grade. Because those are the only 2 exams that are being proctored, your midterm is 35% of your grade and your final exam is 35% of your grade. That means your midterm and final make up 70% of your course grade. So it's really, really, really important that you do well in these exams. You must also earn a combined average of at least a 60% on the midterm and final. So it's really important that you're doing the chapter tests, that you have the knowledge, that you're preparing for the midterm and final by doing those practice exams so that you can score what you need to in order to be successful. All right, homework is used, remember, to learn the material and reinforce those mathematical concepts. After you complete the pretest, you will have an opportunity to work on your homework. Remember, you need to get at least an 80% on each section of your homework in order to be able to do those chapter retakes. 2 more retakes will become available to you once you've completed that homework to that threshold. And homework is typically due on Friday each week. So remember, your pretest is due by Monday. You should be working on your homework throughout the week until Friday, and then your retakes are due by Sunday at midnight. Okay? It is very tempting to be casual when you're working on the computer, but being organized in your work will really pay off in the long run. So as you're doing your homework, I suggest you take out a piece of paper, you number it, you stay organized, you show all of your work so that you don't make any mistakes. Okay? Because we're using the computer program, MyMathLab, they are very picky on how you input the answer. If you make one little small mistake, it marks you completely wrong. So it's really important that you take your time, that you're organized, that you show all of your work so you can get the best score possible. Okay? Now the homework that I've provided is just a minimal amount. If you're struggling and you need more practice, then please make sure that you do more practice in MyMathLab. There's extra examples and extra practice problems that you can do underneath the study plan, as well as doing the extra practice problems within the homework. Okay? Like I said before, you do need to make sure that you put some time in your schedule right now and stick to it for the rest of the semester, whether that's a little bit every single day or chunks throughout the week. But please do not think that you can just sit down at 10 o'clock on a Sunday night and bust this out and by midnight. Okay? There's way too much stuff for you to do. I'm estimating that it's going to take you at least 8 to 10 hours each week to get through the content that you need to get through. So you cannot just do it last minute on a Sunday night. Please make a schedule that works for you, whether that's a little bit every single day or chunks throughout the week, but please make sure that you set up some sort of schedule so you can be successful and get all the stuff you need done. There are a couple different categories for our grades. We have those chapter tests that you'll be taking each week that are 20% of your grade. You have your completed notes that you'll be submitting after you watch all the videos for each chapter. That's 10% of your grade. You have the midterm, that's 35%, and the final exam, that's 35% of your grade. So those are the different categories that make up your grade for the course. Now, because you know that, there is no extra credit available for this class. I do not give extra credit after the final exam when you're just a couple points away and you really need a B, okay? You know what to expect. You know what you need to do to earn your grade. I do not give extra credit. So please don't email me at the end of the chapter or at the end of the class and ask for extra points. No extra credit, okay? Letter grades are just like normal, A, B, C, D, F. And for some reason you're wanting to withdraw from the class, please let me know so we can decide on the best option. There are a couple of different options, and one might mean something a little bit different to you depending on if you have financial aid issues or veteran service assistance, anything like that. Now, if you simply disappear from class, I will withdraw you with a failing grade. That's a Y, so it looks like an F on your transcript, a withdraw failing. So please be careful with that. If for some reason you cannot continue with the course, let me know so we can figure out what the best option is. Okay? And like I said before, just because you can't see me doesn't mean that I'm not here. So please don't ever feel alone. You've got lots of resources to get help if you're ever struggling. You have me. We can always meet during office hours if we need to. You have the Math Solutions. Even though the Math Solutions building isn't open, there are tutors that are ready and willing, happy to help you with anything that you need. It's a free option. You can contact them through the GCC Math Solutions website. You can make an appointment and they can get online with you and help you with anything that you need. Also, MyMathLab has lots of different resources in it. It has extra videos. It has that textbook in it. It has step-by-step example problems, lots of different resources in MyMathLab that'll help you also. There is a little blurb here about student conduct. Hopefully we don't have to worry about this, but this is any sort of cheating, plagiarism, excessive absences, profanity, disruptive or threatening behavior. I will be reporting that to the chair, to the deans, but hopefully I won't have to deal with that. We're all going to be respectful and have a great semester, right? All right. One other thing is what we call Netiquette. Because this is an online class, Netiquette is the correct and acceptable way of communicating on the internet. So online classes require a lot of written communication, so both to me and possibly your fellow students. So it's important that you communicate clearly and professionally. So pretty much the golden rule of Netiquette is don't do or say anything online that you wouldn't do or say in person. So just please be kind and respectful to everybody, okay? It is your responsibility to make sure that you know all the different policies, whether that's grading, attendance, or student conduct code policies. So please make sure that you are aware of all of those. We do have a sexual harassment blurb that you are required to read and be notified of, and a disability statement. So please make sure that you read through those. I'm not going to go through all of that with you. You can read through those. If you have any questions, let me know. And if you are registered with DRS, please let me know about your accommodations as soon as possible so I can make sure to help you throughout the course. All right, I know that was a lot of information, so please make sure that you read back through the syllabus if you need to. Make sure that you do those 4 week 1 assignments if you're going to continue on with the course. They need to be done by Friday. Number 1, that's the syllabus quiz with 100%. Number 2, that's registering for MyMathLab. Number 3 is signing up for the Remind message system. And number 4 is making sure that you submit that multi-page document the correct way to make sure that you're ready for submitting assignments. All right, let me know if you need anything. I look forward to a great semester with you. Take care.